Hare Krishna. Actually speaking, my heart is having volcanic eruptions of happiness to introduce such a great personality as the eternal associate of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, to our audience of ISKCON Juhu on the joyous occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav. What I can describe about his glories within few minutes. He is an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Srila Prabhupada came to India and he met with the father of Sri Rajji Prabhu, Dr. N.D. Desai, Srila Prabhupada requested his father, make Jayapataka as an Indian citizen because he is an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Way back in 1968, he joined ISKCON temple in San Francisco on the day of Rath Yatra, and thereafter he was being made president of Montreal temple. Thereafter, he was doing so many services for Prabhupada in the United States. Afterwards, Prabhupada brought him in 1970 in India. He was made as the Kolkata president, and Prabhupada told him, now I am giving you the kingdom of God, that is Mayapur Dham, develop it and enjoy it. That much love Prabhupada had for His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. And now whatever development we see in Shri Dham Mayapur over the decades, 4 or 5 decades, that we see that has been developed by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj with the assistance of his god brothers and other devotees. I cannot fully describe his glories. I just summarized that in 1977, Srila Prabhupada, before going back home, back to God, had called His Holiness and asked him to become the initiating spiritual master. And thereafter, he has been delivering so many fallen souls of this material world, traveling so frequently. Actually, he happens to be a GBC, a guru, a bureau member, co-director of Mayapur project. So many places he is guiding and delivering people. He is for South India, he is for Middle East, and so many people. In summary, it's our great fortune to hear from an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. I request all our audience and devotees who are watching this live and they will be hearing it afterwards to hold on to your hearts and open your ears to welcome the nectarian words of Krishna Lila emanating from the lotus mouth of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Now, I request His Holiness to begin this discourse. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namene.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhattacharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Gopala Govinda Ram Srila Sudan
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Karo Divasalam Pandulang Ayate Yarev Yativasalahan Vande Sri Gurum Dinatadiram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isam Hare Om Tat Sat. I like to wish everyone a very blissful, spiritual Janmashtami.
I would like to wish everyone a very blissful spiritual Janmashtami.
We are very fortunate to be observing Janmashtami.
We are very fortunate to be observing Janmashtami.
Sananda Swami in his Hari Bhakti Vilas,
Sanatan Goswami in his Hari Bhakti Vilas,
he mentioned that if you are watching the worship of Lord Krishna,
he mentions that by watching the worship of Lord Krishna,
you get the same benefit as a worshipper.
you will get the same benefit as the worshipper.
So this virtual Janmashtami gives you the special blessings.
So this virtual Janmashtami gives you the special blessings.
Although there's some restriction to go to the temple,
Although there are some restrictions to go to the temple,
by watching virtually, you'll get the same transcendental benefit.
by watching it virtually, you will get the same transcendental benefit.
I'm very grateful that many of you are sponsoring different aspects
I'm
of the
also very,
puja.
I'm also very grateful that many of you are sponsoring different aspects
Of the Janmashtami festival.
of the Janmashtami festival.
With Janmashtami is observed very
This Janmashtami is observed very
religiously because Lord Krishna has appeared once in the material world in the day of Brahma.
It's observed very religiously because Lord Krishna has appeared once in a day of Brahma.
We are especially fortunate that he has appeared in the last Dwapara Yuga.
We are very fortunate because he had appeared in the last Dwapara Yuga.
He appeared in Mathura,
He was appeared in Mathura,
in the prison house of Kamsa.
in the prison house of Kamsa.
That reminds us that this material world is also a prison house.
That reminds us that this material world is also a prison house.
So he came in the mind of Vasudeva and transferred to the mind and then the heart of Devaki.
He came to the mind of Vasudev and then transferred to the heart of Devaki.
So when on the Ashtami he appeared
On the Ashtami, he appeared
and he had his divine form with 4 hands,
and he had his divine form with 4 hands.
and chakra, padma, gada, and shankha.
Carrying chakra, gada, padma, and shanka.
So he had clothes on, that's not like an ordinary baby.
He's,
He had full cloth decorations, helmet,
he had full cloth decoration and flowers, helmet, not like an ordinary baby.
because he was telling the parents that he had fulfilled their desire
Because he was telling his parents that he had fulfilled their desires
to become as their child for 3 births.
to become their child for 3 births.
So Devaki and Vasudeva immediately Kashyapa and Aditi
Devaki and Vasudev were previously Kashyapa and Aditi.
and Rohini was also in the celestial planets.
Rohini was also in the celestial planets.
So now they have taken their birth in the material world.
So now they have taken their birth in the material world.
They have the great fortune to be the parents of Krishna.
They have the great fortune to be the parents of Krishna.
Krishna told Vasudeva to take him to Gokula.
Krishna told Vasudev to take him to Gokula.
There he'll be find that Yashoda had a newborn baby girl.
There you will find that Yashoda had a newborn baby girl.
He said, "Leave me," Krishna said,
You
"and
should
take the baby girl
You should leave me, Krishna said, and take the baby girl
and bring the baby girl back to Devaki."
and bring the baby girl back to Devaki.
Now this was the when Vasudeva came to the Yamuna, it was a raging storm, lightning, wind.
When Vasudev came to Yamuna, there was amazing storm, lightning, waves, everything. Lightning.
He thought, how are I going to cross?
Then he thought, how will I get to cross?
But then the Yamuna divided out and created a passage
Then the Damuna divided up and created a passage
so that Vasudeva could walk on the bottom of the Yamuna.
so that Vasudev can walk on the bottom of Yamuna.
He'll be protected by Ananta Sesha.
He was being protected by Ananta Shesha.
While I was carrying the baby fell in the water.
While he was carrying the baby fell into the water.
And then he became very anxious.
And then he became very anxious.
Then he picked up the baby again.
And then he picked up the baby again.
So then he went to the house of Yashoda Nanda Maharaj,
Then he went to the house of Yashoda Nanda Maharaj,
took the baby girl,
took the baby girl,
left Krishna,
left Krishna,
and then came back
and then came back.
and gave all the guards in Concentration House were asleep.
All the guards in Kamsa's prison house were asleep.
So he gave a baby girl to Devaki,
He gave the baby girl to Devaki,
and the girl was crying.
and the girl was crying.
The guards woke up
The guards woke up
and told Kamsa
and told Kamsa
that the baby is born.
that the baby is born.
So when Kamsa came, Devi told him that it's a girl. It's
So
not,
when Kamsa came, Devaki told him, it is a girl.
not going to endanger you.
It's not going to endanger you.
And she'll be the wife of your son.
Rather, she would be the wife of your son.
But he took the girl who was going to smash her head on the wall.
Rather, he took the girl, was going to smash her head on the wall.
But she flew out in the air.
But she flew out in the air.
And she took the form of Durga.
And she took the form of Durga.
So then he offered respect because demons respect Durga.
Then he offered her respect because demons respect Durga.
And then she said that you fool, the person who is going to kill you already appeared somewhere else.
Then she said, "Oh fool, the person who's going to kill you already appeared somewhere else."
And then she left.
And then she left.
So for 16 years, Krishna stayed in Gokula
For 16 years, Krishna stayed in Gokula,
and Vrindavan.
in Vrindavan.
There he was having his childhood pastimes.
And there he was having his childhood pastimes.
And still see Govardhan, you see Radhakunda, Shyamkunda,
We can still see Govardhan, we can see Radhakunda, Shyamkunda,
Nandagram,
Nandagram,
Arsana.
Barsana.
You can see many of the little places of Lord Krishna.
We can see many of the Leela places of Lord Krishna.
And 16 years of age, when he was taken by Akrura,
At 16 years of age, he was taken by Akrura,
he and Balaram
he and Balaram,
to Mathura.
to Mathura.
So at that time, Kamsa had arranged for Russian wrestlers to kill Krishna.
So at that time, Kamsa had arranged some wrestlers to kill Krishna.
And the people were protesting that two village boys
And the people were protesting, two village boys
fighting against professional wrestlers.
fighting against professional wrestlers.
Not a fair match.
Not a fair match.
Not good.
Not good.
They were protesting.
So they were protesting.
But Krishna and Balaram defeated the wrestlers
But Krishna and Balaram defeated the wrestlers
because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
And Balaram is his first extension.
And Balaram is his first expansion.
So they have unlimited power.
So they have unlimited power.
And they are also known as Yogendra, or the master of the mystic power.
They are also known as Yogendra, the master of mystic powers.
So after Krishna defeated the wrestlers,
So after Krishna defeated the wrestlers,
he jumped up on the place where Kamsa was sitting on his throne,
so he jumped upon the place where Kamsa was sitting on his throne
dragged him down from the throne,
and brought him down from the throne
and started to hit him.
and started to hit him.
And then in no time, Kamsa left his body.
Then in no time, Kamsa left his body.
And Lord Krishna dragged the dead body of Kamsa around to show everybody that he was dead.
Then Lord Krishna dragged Kamsa's dead body around to show everybody that he was dead.
So then Krishna was greeted by Vasudeva and Devaki.
Then Krishna was greeted by Vasudeva and Devaki.
Vasudeva hugged Krishna and Balaram and all my dear sons.
Vasudeva hugged Krishna and Balaram and said, "Oh my dear sons."
Devaki took Krishna on her lap, my dear son.
And Devaki took Krishna on her lap and said, "My dear son."
Like this. And then the people came and asked Krishna,
And then people came and asked Krishna,
when were you born?
"When you were born?
We want to celebrate that day.
We want to celebrate that day."
Then he said, he was born in the month of Bhadra,
Then he said he was born in the month of Bhadra,
on the dark fortnight,
on the dark fortnight,
on the Ashtami.
on the Ashtami.
So then, since then, we've been observing the Janmashtami.
So since then we have been observing the Janmashtami.
And and particularly says in the High Bhakti Vilas,
And it is in particular it says in the Hari Bhakti Vilas,
we should not observe the Ashtami that's combined with the Saptami.
we should not observe the Ashtami if it is combined with Saptami.
We should observe Ashtami combined with the Navami.
We should observe the Ashtami combined with the Navami.
And Monday or Wednesday is especially glorious.
Monday or Wednesday is especially glorious.
Actually, every day is glorious.
Actually, every day is glorious.
Janmashtami is the most sacred day of the year.
Janmashtami is the most sacred day of the year.
But even more is Monday or Wednesday.
Even more if it is on Monday or Wednesday.
That's what the scripture says.
That's what the scriptures say.
We're very fortunate that this year the Janmashtami falls in India on a Wednesday.
So we are very fortunate that this year Janmashtami falls in India on Wednesday.
So in the Brahma Samhita, it mentions that Krishna is the supreme personality Godhead.
So in the Brahma Samhita, it mentions that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Ishvara Prana Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvakana Karana.
Ishvara Paramah Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam.
He is the Parameshwar Bhagavan.
So that he is the Parameshwar Bhagavan.
His form is of Satchidananda, is eternal blissful knowledge.
His form of Satchit Ananda, eternal, blissful, and knowledge.
He is the cause of everything.
He is the cause of everything,
He has no cause himself.
and he has no cause for himself.
In the Rig Veda, it also states,
In the Rig Veda, it also says,
Om Krishna Vai Satchidananda Gana Krishnadi Purusha Krishna Purushotamaha.
Om Krishna Vai Satchidananda Ganaha, Krishna Adi Purushaha, Krishna Purushottamaha.
So in all the Vedas, they declare that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
In all the Vedas, it is declared that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva,
Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva,
he was studying the different personalities.
he was studying the different personalities,
And he saw that Lord Brahma had 50 qualities.
and he saw that Lord Brahma had 50 qualities,
But Lord Shiva had 5 more than Brahma.
but Lord Shiva had 5 more than Brahma.
He had 55.
He had 55,
And Vishnu had 5 more than Shiva.
and Vishnu had 5 more than Shiva.
He had 60.
He had 60,
But only Krishna, he had 64.
but only Krishna he had 64,
4 more qualities than Vishnu.
4 more qualities than Vishnu.
So he came to the conclusion that Krishna is the original and supreme person.
So he came to the conclusion that Krishna is the original and the supreme person.
In the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, it states that all the Vishnus are basically his part or part of his part.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that all the Vishnu are the parts of his parts,
But that he is the son of Bhagavan.
but that he is the Swayam Bhagavan.
Krishna is too Bhagavan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
So normally people are confused.
Normally, people are confused.
Who is the supreme?
Who is the supreme?
There should be no confusion.
There should be no confusion.
The supreme is Krishna.
The supreme is Krishna,
But he is not different from his Vishnu expansions.
but he is not different from the Vishnu expansion.
He comes to this material world in unlimited forms.
So he comes to this material world in unlimited forms.
Just as the waves in the ocean
It states that just like the waves in the ocean,
are also different forms of Krishna.
there are also different forms of Krishna.
So it's very, you can't count how many waves there are in the ocean.
You can't count how many waves are there in the ocean.
Similarly, how many avatars, how many forms of the Lord,
Similarly, how many avatars, how many forms of the Lord,
impossible to count. It's not possible to count.
it is not possible to count.
Anandarupam,
Ananta Rupam,
he has unlimited forms,
he has unlimited forms,
but the original form is Krishna.
but the original form is Krishna.
So we should focus our attention on Krishna.
So we should focus our attention on Krishna.
In the Lord Shiva has instructed Parvati.
Lord Shiva has instructed Parvati
One name of Ram is equal to 1,000 names of Vishnu.
that one name of Ram is equals to 1,000 names of Vishnu,
One name of Krishna is equal to 3,000 names of Vishnu.
and one name of Krishna is equivalent to 3,000 names of Vishnu.
So that's why in our temples we chant Hare Krishna Hare Ram.
That's why in our temples we chant Hare Krishna Hare Rama.
And Krishna came 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya
And Krishna came 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya
because in Dwarka, Rukmini Devi had challenged Krishna.
because in Dwaraka Rukmini Devi had challenged Krishna.
You know everything.
But that you know
You
everything.
know what Brahma is doing in Satyaloka.
You know what Lord Brahma is doing in Satyaloka.
You know what Shiva is doing in Kailash.
You know what Shiva is doing in Kailash.
But there's one thing you don't know.
But there is one thing that you don't know.
I know it,
I know it,
I know it,
or Radharani knows it,
but you don't know it.
but you don't know it.
He said, what is that?
He said, what's that?
He was surprised with something he doesn't know.
He was surprised that there was something that he doesn't know.
And then he said,
And then Rukmini said,
you don't know how much your devotees love you
you don't know how much does your devotee loves you
and in what way we love you.
and in what way we love you.
Being challenged in that way,
So being challenged in that way,
Krishna came down as a devotee.
Krishna came down as his devotee.
What? Krishna came down as a devotee
So when Krishna came down as a devotee,
as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
And he came for three purposes.
so and he came for three purposes.
And the first purpose was to establish the Harinam Sankirtan congregational chanting
And the first purpose was to establish the Harinam Sankirtan, the congregational chanting
in the world.
in the world.
The second purpose was to research
The second purpose was to research
what love the devotee has for him,
what love does the devotee have for him,
and what way they love him.
and in what way they love him.
And he could do that by becoming a devotee.
So he can do that by becoming a devotee.
And that's what the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is.
That's what the avatar Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is.
And Krishna as a devotee.
That Krishna as his devotee, as a devotee.
Krishna has separated the two, himself and Radha.
So Krishna has separated himself into two as Radha
and Lord Chaitanya, Krishna combined with Radha.
As Lord Chaitanya, Krishna combined with Radha,
Krishna with the heart of Radha.
Krishna with the heart of Radha.
And therefore, he is very merciful.
So therefore he is very merciful.
And we're asking 2 weeks from now, Radharani appears.
So 2 weeks from now, Radharani will appear.
And that it also says that
And there it also says that
observing the Radhashtami
observing the Radhashtami
is more valuable than 100,000 Ekadasis.
is more valuable than 100,000 Ekadasi.
But so we'll talk about that later
So we'll talk about that later
on Radhashtami.
on Radhashtami.
But now, Janmashtami, we have this special facility
Now on Janmashtami, we have this special facility
to watch the Abhishek
to watch the Abhishek
because this is performed by Nanda Maharaj.
because this was performed by Nanda Maharaj.
That he performed the bathing ceremony.
That he performed the bathing ceremony.
So we perform that every year.
So we perform that every year.
And the devotees, by watching a bathing Abhishek of Lord Krishna,
So devotees by watching the bathing of Lord Krishna, the bathing or the Abhishek of Lord Krishna,
by watching the arti and the Nivedan,
by watching the Arati, by watching the Bhog Nivedan,
and they're able to get special mercy.
so they are able to get special mercy.
Once there was a king in Kala Yuga called Chitrasena.
Once there was a king in Dwapara Yuga called Chitrasena.
He was very sinful,
He was very sinful
and he was destined to be taken by Yamaraj.
he was destined to be taken by Yamaraj.
But somehow he got lost in the forest,
But somehow he got lost in a forest
looking to kill some tiger.
looking to kill some tiger.
Then he met some ladies
Then he met some ladies
who told him that the day was Janmashtami
who told him that the day was Janmashtami,
and he should be observing the Janmashtami fast.
that he should be observing the Janmashtami fast.
They took a lotus from a sarovar, from a lake,
They took the lotus from a sarovar, from a lake,
and they offered that to Krishna.
and he offered that to Krishna.
Then he fasted for the whole night.
Then he fasted for the whole night.
Next day, he broke the fast,
And next day he broke the fast,
and a spiritual airplane came from Vaikuntha
and a spiritual airplane came from Vaikuntha
and took him back.
and took him back.
So, Prabhupada advises us that since we're devotees of Krishna,
So Prabhupada advised us, since we are the devotee of Krishna,
we should not take any grains or pulses on Janmashtami day.
so we should not take any grain or pulses on the Janmashtami day.
We fast till midnight,
We fast till midnight,
and then we take Anakola Prasad.
and then we take Anukalpa Prasad.
Then on the following day, because it's the Auspicious of Srila Prabhupada,
And on the following day, because it's the Vyas Puja of Srila Prabhupada,
after the sunrise, we break our paran.
after the sunrise, we break our paran.
And they take a few grains of rice.
And we take a few grains of rice.
Then we fast till noon,
And then we fast till noon
observe the Vyas Puja,
and observe the Vyas Puja.
the Abhishek of Prabhupada.
Do the Abhishek of Prabhupada.
And then we have the Nanda Utsav feast.
And then we have the Nandotsava feast.
I don't know in Bombay how many offerings you offer.
I don't know in Bombay how many offering will you offer.
Here in Mayapur, we have a big community that offers. Some years they have 2,216 offerings.
So here in Mayapur we have a big community. In 1 year they had 2,216 offerings.
So I'm very fortunate that Krishna comes from Krishna Loka
So we are very fortunate that Krishna comes from Krishna Loka
and comes to this material world.
and comes to this material world.
He shows the people that he is a person,
He showed to the people that he is a person.
that many people are impersonalists.
Many people are impersonalist.
I think that God is not a person.
They think that God is not a person.
Some people think that he's formless,
Some people they think that he is formless,
but he has three forms.
but he has three forms.
Brahmeti, Bhagavaniti, Sabdite.
Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti iti sabdete.
He has this impersonal form.
He has his impersonal form.
He has the form as the Paramatma,
He has the form as the Paramatma
but he is in everyone's heart.
in the everyone's heart,
And he has the form as the Bhagavan,
and he has the form as the Bhagavan,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So, although we should worship the system of yoga,
Although
which is most effective in Bhakti Yoga.
in the system of yoga, the most effective is Bhakti Yoga.
Jnana yogis, I like to merge in the Brahmajyoti.
Jnana yogis, they like to merge in the Brahma Jyoti.
The Ashtanga yogis realize the Paramatma.
The Ashtanga yogis, they realize the Paramatma.
Or the Bhakti yogis, they realize Krishna.
But the Bhakti yogis, they realize Krishna.
So, Bhakti yoga is the process most celebrated.
So Bhakti yoga is the most process which is most elevated, celebrated.
And when you practice Bhakti yoga,
When you practice Bhakti yoga,
either as a grihastha or as a renounced order,
even as a grihastha or as a renounced order,
in Jnana yoga, they say to achieve the personal realization, you
in
have to be a sannyasi.
so in Jnana yoga they said in order to achieve the impersonal realization you have to be a sannyasi.
But in Bhakti yoga, that's not required.
But in Bhakti yoga that's not required.
You have that, for instance, Prahlad Maharaj, he became a grihastha,
You have seen that Prahlad Maharaj, he became a grihastha.
and he was the grandfather of Bali Maharaj,
He was the grandfather of Bali Maharaj.
and like that. You don't have to be a sannyasi
Like that, you don't have to be a sannyasi
to be a pure devotee.
to be a pure devotee.
You can be a perfect bhakti yogi,
You can be a perfect bhakti yogi,
whether you're a grihastha or a sannyasi.
whether as a grihastha or a sannyasi.
So that's why we hope that everyone will perform the bhakti yoga.
We hope that everyone would perform the bhakti yoga.
Bhakti yoga has 9 processes:
Bhakti yoga has 9 processes:
hearing, hearing, chanting, remembering,
hearing, chanting, remembering,
Swamanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam,
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam,
Pada Sevanam,
Pada Sevanam,
Vandanam,
Vandanam,
Archanam,
Archanam,
uh, Dasyam,
Dasyam,
Sakyam,
Shakyam,
Atmanivedanam.
Atmanivedanam.
So, by any of these processes,
So by any of these processes,
any one process,
any of this one process,
one can achieve all perfection.
one can achieve all perfection.
And the one can be more, so much the better.
One can be more,
So much the better.
so much to better.
So, like this, Lord Chaitanya also taught one should perform yukta vairagya.
Like this, Lord Chaitanya also taught that one should perform Yukta Vairagya.
Here's your material situation, or whatever your situation is,
Use your material situation or whatever situation is
in the service of Krishna.
in the service of Krishna.
In this way, uh, it's real renunciation.
In this way, it is real renunciation.
Taking suddenly some renounced situation
Taking suddenly some renounced situation
and not changing the consciousness,
that changes the consciousness,
not changing the consciousness.
not changing the consciousness.
Lord Chaitanya advised that this was a markat vairagya.
Lord Chaitanya advised that this is Markat Vairagya.
This is like a monkey renunciation.
This is like a monkey renunciation.
That devotees and people are imitating monkeys.
Like that people imitating monkeys.
Monkey looks very renounced.
Monkey looks very renounced.
He lives in the jungle.
It lives in the jungle.
He doesn't have any clothes.
It doesn't have any clothes.
But actually, he's a great sense gratifier.
But actually, he's a very great sense gratifier.
And this type of market vairagya
So this type of Markat Vairagya,
was not recommended by Lord Chaitanya.
it's not recommended by Lord Chaitanya.
Rather, he said, Krishna Upadesh.
Rather, he said that Jare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh.
Tell everyone the teachings of Krishna,
Tell everyone the teachings of Krishna
wherever you meet,
wherever you meet,
whoever you meet.
whomever you meet.
Well, Prabhupada was explaining how sometimes the teacher takes a chalk
Prabhupada was explaining how sometimes the teacher takes the chalk
and draws something on the blackboard.
and draws something on the blackboard.
But similarly, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya
Similarly, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya
to teach people how to worship Krishna
to teach people how to worship Krishna
by his practical example.
by his practical example.
And he said, Krishna Bolo,
And he said, Krishna Bolo,
Krishna Bhajo,
Krishna Bhajo,
Karo Krishna Shika.
Koro Krishna Shika.
Worship, chant the holy names of Lord Krishna
Chant the holy names of Lord Krishna,
and worship and serve Krishna,
worship and serve Krishna,
study the teachings of Krishna.
study the teachings of Krishna.
And then Krishna personally spoke the Bhagavad Gita,
Krishna personally spoke the Bhagavad Gita,
and the Srimad Bhagavat Puran is spoken about Krishna.
and the Srimad Bhagavata Puran is spoken about Krishna.
And these are the two teachings of Lord Krishna.
So these are the two teachings of Lord Krishna.
So, understanding this teachings,
So by understanding these teachings,
we can perfect our process of Bhakti Yoga.
we can perfect our process of Bhakti Yoga.
So we're very happy that the Juhu temple is giving this opportunity for everyone to practice Bhakti Yoga.
So we are very happy that the Juhu temple is giving the opportunity to everyone to practice Bhakti Yoga.
In this time of the world epidemic,
In this time of pandemic,
I hope that you all keep healthy and Krishna conscious.
and we hope that you all keep healthy and Krishna conscious.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to observe Krishna Janmashtami with you.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to observe this Krishna or to celebrate Krishna Janmashtami with you all.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Nitai Gaur, Jai Radha Rasi Hari, Lohita Visaga, Jai Siddhana Lakshman Hanuman.
Jai Nitai Gaur, Jai Radha Rasbihari Lalita Vishaka, Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for giving a wonderful, for narrating a wonderful pastime of Lord Krishna on his divine appearance day. Thank you very much, Maharaj. We are really grateful to you on behalf of ISKCON Juhu. Thank you very much.
Done, Guru Maharaj.